Hello, my name is Omar Guerrero, and I'll be discussing the cultural artifact that I have selected, which is Estadio Azteca, or the Stadium Aztecs in Mexico City. Now, I have selected this cultural artifact as it holds significant value, history, and a sense of community. Now, when most people think of cultural artifacts, they either think something that they can use or something that holds an idea of a culture. Since it is this comparison of the Estadio Azteca is a comparison to the Colosseum of Rome, as it was not only a building of entertainment, but also had a sense of idea of what it would mean to be Roman in their times, as it meant to be Mexican for the Estadio Aztecas in Mexico City. Now, going to my first point is the history of the stadium. Estadio Aztecas was made in the 1960s by president of a television company, Televisa. He wanted to present the whole world what Mexico City could be and the beauty of it. When he first created the stadium, he wanted to hold over 100,000 people in the stadium, in which it was the first stadium to do that in the world, to hold over 100,000 people. The stadium was created in order to bring beauty and also tourists to the center of the capital of Mexico. The television company that created this was called Televisa, in which it wanted to present the vision of television to the whole world, in which they have in their symbol a map of the world. In the Estadio Aztecas, it holds the history of not only the building being the first to hold over 100,000, but it also was the first stadium in order to hold two world tournaments called the FIFA World Cup twice. Third would be in 2026. Now going to the significance of the stadium. The stadium not only holds such tremendous tournaments and events, it also holds a place of gathering. Going back to the history side of it, a terrible disaster happened in Mexico City in the 1980s, which was an earthquake, in which many people had to evacuate and had to seek out shelter. The stadium, Estadio Azteca, it was the place for that, as they held over 100,000 people, comfortably able to sleep and bunker down, as they try to save everyone as they can and treat them. After this disaster was fully over, they had a memorial for the city and all the people that lost their lives in that terrible event. From this, from this disaster, the Estadio Azteca got a sense of community, in which the people traveled there for not only just for themselves and their entertainment, but also for the people around them. As they had so much room and luxury in that stadium, people were able to connect, talk to one another, and be able to get a sense of community. From the Estadio Aztecas, there was held many famous people, such as Pelé, Maradona, famous soccer players, famous football players, as NFL teams are slowly going to play in Mexico City to expand the brand. Also, bands and singers will also visit there, as it was an experience, not only in of itself of the people, but of the view of Mexico City. When discussing the sense of community, it could not go any further that many historical figures have also visited there as well. Mexican presidents have visited there to make inaugurations, to make speeches, and also held conferences. As for the stadium itself, it has a sense of not only an initiative, as the building is one of the first in creation for our modern society, but also compares a sense that not only what the Colosseum did to Rome, as a sense of what is to be Roman, as the stadium does what is to be Mexican, the stadium also brings together different cultures. As I stated before, football teams from America, Europeans visit the stadium to get a sense of what it is to be a part of such a huge community as it is a value of Mexican values, but also spreads the idea not only in a micro sense, in a macro sense, as Mexican land communities compete and actually get initiative ideas from the stadium, such as the steps, the colors, the bands, and implement those new ideas to their own values in their own countries, and twist it into their own initiative way, into their own idea of diversity. As Mexico City is a diverse nation, This stadium shows our diversity as it holds a bunch of values and a bunch of images of people getting along and hugging one another. As the first depiction of the Estadio Azteca that I present, as the first stadium when the first stadium was presented, over 100,000 people, not of only land descent but all races and cultures. As the stadium has begun to renovate and fix its regulations to be safer for people, for more tourists, as it became huge attraction, as it put coverings just on top, covering so that people will not get do not have to sit within the rain if it is raining. Since the stadium is built in Mexico City, which has an elevation of 5,000 feet, which is like going up a mountain, it it also has a sense of significance in that way, as you have to traverse through the land going up to the stadium, and that gives it a sense of spirituality. In conclusion, the stadium holds such significance that it can be seen not only as a temple, as in the sense of spirituality, as in the sense you want to be a part of this, you want to go through this experience, but also has a sense of the history that put you through, as you can see, not only yourself doing this, but you also can see some other people who also want to do it, and those other people that you think that you would like them to see do it. Thank you.